Amandla. Amandla. Viva e-EFF, viva. Ayihule e-EFF, ayihule. Ayikhule e-EFF, ayikhule. Tata e-EFF, tata. Tata e-EFF, tata. Down with ANC, down. Down with DA, down. Down with Ramaphosa, down. Down with Helen Zille, down. Amandla. Thank you very much. Let me thank the national chairperson and officials of the e-EFF present here today. And before I do that, I will want us to all rise, and all those who are wearing caps, the males who are wearing caps, must take them off. And we have a moment of silence for the people who died in Umtata. That's where we were supposed to have this anniversary. We brought it here because we were honoring those people who passed away. Please tell the person next to you to keep quiet. We are honoring the memory of black people who died in the floods in Umtata. Let's all keep quiet. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, including dignitaries, our religious leaders, abafundisi, and traditional leaders, amakhosi, members of the Central Command Team, Provincial Command Team of the Western Cape, and all the provincial leaders who are here, and sub-regional interim leadership corps members present here today. All the ground forces of the e-EFF in the Western Cape, Khayelitsha in particular, we salute you and thank you for coming out in your numbers to celebrate 12th anniversary of the e-EFF. Let me acknowledge the King of Abathembu Nation, King Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo Kasabata, Azwelibanzi. Let me also acknowledge Ikumkana Yamapondo, Silo Somtlanga, Kadakile, Ka Zanozuko, Sika. We salute you for coming to honor us as the organization that respect the traditional leaders. Today, we gather here not just to celebrate a milestone in the life of a political movement, but to honor a revolutionary journey that has shaped South African politics, disrupted the complacency of the ruling elite, and planted the seed of hope in the hearts of millions who had long been forgotten by a democracy they helped to create. It has been 12 years since the formation of the economic freedom fighters. 12 years since we, driven by conviction, principle, and the urgent crisis of our people, declared that we will build a movement rooted in radical economic transformation, courage, and commitment to justice. The e-EFF was not born in a boardroom, nor was it the product of political convenience or negotiations. It was built by those who refused to keep quiet while the dreams of 1994 were being sold for crumbs of patronage and positions. On the 26th of July, 2013, a historic meeting was convened at Uncle Tom's Hall in Soweto, where thousands of delegates, young and old, came together under the banner of economic freedom in our lifetime. It was in that moment that the e-EFF was officially launched. It was not just a political party, but a movement of the marginalized, the landless, the unemployed, and the oppressed. We declared our cardinal pillars boldly and without apology, demanding the expropriation of land without compensation, the nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of our economy, free quality education, healthcare, and sanitation, and the eradication of the exploitative economic system that continues to deepen inequality in our country. 12 years later, those pillars remain intact, not because we are stubborn, but because the conditions that birthed them have not changed. If anything, the need for them has grown more urgent as the poor become poorer while the rich fortify themselves behind high walls and private security. We are a product of the pain of domestic workers, gardeners, cleaners, rock drill operators, petrol attendants, and the forgotten masses of our people. It was after the bullets which shot down 34 mine workers in Marikana that the history of South Africa was changed forever. It was after Mam Bush took his last breath that a new revolution was born in Africa, led by the EFF. Comrades, fighters, and the proud people of Khayelitsha, today we gather in the heart of this township, Khayelitsha, home to over 1 million black people who mark one of the largest townships population in South Africa. We stand here not only to celebrate 12 years of EFF, but to acknowledge that Khayelitsha's history is a mirror of our country's long struggle against dispossession, segregation, and economic marginalization. Cape Town was the first to experience the wrath of occupation, as in 1652, Jan van Riebeeck and the Dutch East Indian Company arrived and created a refreshment station for their ships built on land stolen from the indigenous people of this land, who soon forced violence and displacement in conflict such as the Khoi Dutch War. From early colonial legislation like the Caledon Code of 1809, in which locals were forced to carry passes and labor under slave-like conditions, the symbolic groundwork for racial segregation was laid in the Cape. The British inherited these structures and deepened them, continuing spatial exclusion and racial control under the Union and later apartheid regimes, turning Cape Town into one of South Africa's most segregated cities by the mid-1980s. It is in that context that Khayelitsha was born, initially proclaimed in 1983 as a forced relocation site for the squatters from places like Crossroads. It was envisaged as a controlled labor reserve for black laborers outside Cape Town. By 1985, Site C, one segment of Khayelitsha, was home to more than 30,000 people, and within a decade, the township grew to over 500,000 as citizens came in from the Eastern Cape, escaping past restrictions and poverty created by land disposition. Under apartheid, Khayelitsha was a center for resistance, resident-led consumer boycotts, anti-pass protests, and anti-removal campaigns. After 1994, hope emerged with democracy, but within the Western Cape, the DA long-term governance has continued spatial apartheid. Townships remain under service, informal settlement continue to grow, and basic infrastructure is not provided. Fighters, the DA continually boast that Western Cape is one of the best run cities. But if you go to Khayelitsha, you will know that DA is lying. Helen Zille has got the chicken audacity to claim that the DA does more for Khayelitsha than Camps Bay. It's a lie. How can a gogo tell a lie at her age when they know that they've neglected our people in Khayelitsha? If you say that Khayelitsha is serviced more than Camps Bay, why are we not having my city buses in Khayelitsha? Why are we not having proper trains in Khayelitsha? Why are we having our people without water and electricity? Our people without houses? If you say you service us more than Camps Bay, there are houses in Camps Bay. There are no houses in Nyanga, in Delft and Khayelitsha. We are not going to buy that lie anymore. They talk about non-racialism when they know they are the most racist and racist to the core. They know deep down that they hate the people of Gugulethu. That's why there are potholes in Gugulethu. That's why there are bucket toilets in Khayelitsha and Gugulethu. That's why there is daily blackouts in all the black townships, because the DA government hates the people of Cape Flats. Fighters, we must not be misled. The people of Mitchell's Plain are being neglected. We must fight for them so that their dignity is restored, because they too, this province belongs to them. This city belongs to them. It doesn't belong to a group of racists who claim to care because they want to defend the benefits of the few. Fighters, this is a party that blocked land redistribution in Parliament. Our people don't have land. When we said to Parliament, let's take land and give to our people, it was the DA and the ANC, led by Jacob Zuma, that stopped the expropriation of land without compensation. Who are they to tell us that they can give us land now when they did not give us land when they were in power? It was the EFF that offered the ANC its numbers so that we can expropriate land without compensation. The cowards ran away. As a result, the people of Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Delft, Nyanga, Langa, and everywhere else in the townships, our people do not have land. Fighters, we must unite to defeat the false narrative that the DA develops and service people everywhere else they govern. We saw them in Tshwane. They left Tshwane to be rotten. It took the EFF to go to Tshwane and clean it up after the DA. We want to do the same here in Cape Metro. We must remove them next year so that we can come in and clean up their mess, because the EFF cares for the black people. Comrades, while South Africa is growing at 0.58%, China has just recorded growth of 5% in the second quarter of the year. Africa as a continent is projected to grow by 3.9%. South Africa, on the other hand, continues to revise growth estimates downward, now reaching 1%. This is not just a number. It is evidence of an economy in permanent stagnation, an economy that is failing to respond to the crisis of unemployment, poverty, and underdevelopment. We have the highest level of unemployment in the world, particularly amongst young people. Yet we are being told by arrogant, racist bankers that the only way statistics collected by Statistics South Africa will be credible is when there is a white matriculant supervising black professionals. He sits in his office and says to himself, I think unemployment rate in South Africa is less than 10%, when in reality it's more than 43%. This is not only insulting, it is a continuation of a colonial logic that sees black intelligence as inferior and white approval as the only measure of credibility. We remain the most unequal society on earth, and this inequality is racial. It is the same inequality that defined apartheid, just dressed now in liberal terms. In Constantia and Clifton, people have access to clean water, private health care, private education and security. In Khayelitsha, Zethu and Philippi, people face daily power cuts, gang violence, overcrowded in schools and clinics that run out of medication before lunch. Our old people are now refusing to go to the public hospitals, and when you ask them why, they tell you that we are going to die because hospitals do not have facilities. At the center of this dysfunction is the financialization of our economy. We have handed over the future of this country to a banking group, 6 banks that operate in the shadows, unaccountable to the people, yet more powerful than Parliament. They influence decisions at the South African Reserve Bank. They dictate who can get a loan, who can open a bank account, who can own property, and who can access funding for a business. Despite being the majority consumers, black people have no influence over the banks. There are 28 registered banks, 30 cooperatives, and 76 life insurances in South Africa. None of them is controlled by black people. Yet, they are the very same institutions that determine whether we live in dignity or die in poverty. They decide whether we can get insurance for our homes, health, and lives. They decide whether we qualify for a loan to start a business or to send a child to university. These institutions are sitting on a balance sheet of over 12 trillion, and this 12 trillion is not being used to develop townships, not being used to build industries, not being used to invest in the rural economy. It is a wealth concentrated in the hands of a few, mostly white men, who use it to reproduce their privilege and deepen our poverty. Even worse, the very financial institutions are now targeting our strategic state-owned companies. They are leading the push for privatization, not through open sales, but through the back door. Instead of declaring that they are selling SOEs, the neoliberal coalition has adopted a strategy of defunding these entities, collapsing their operational capacity, and selling off what they call non-strategic assets. They have already started with Transnet. Our ports and rail infrastructure, built over more than a century, are being handed over to the private operators under the guise of efficiency. But this is not efficiency for the people. It is efficiency for profit. They have moved to privatize electricity generation at the expense of Eskom, fragmenting the energy system and exposing poor communities to price increases and unreliable services. South African National Defence Force is collapsing because of underfunding and collapse denial. And soon they will say it must be outsourced too. Every SOE, every public asset, every institution of national development is being deliberately weakened so it can be handed to friends, families, and foreign cronies until there is nothing left. Meanwhile, the same countries that preach neoliberalism to us are doing the opposite at home. The UK announced in the past 12 months that they are renationalizing their rail and energy sector. Just this week, they committed to nationalizing their steel industry to protect jobs. America is fighting with any country that won't give them cheap minerals, not because they are charitable, but because they want to reindustrialize and create jobs for their own citizens. Our president, on the other hand, went to the White House and committed to continue the failed economic policy of exporting raw materials, when the racist, ignorant Donald Trump said, "We need your minerals to create jobs for our people." Our president did not push back. He did not say, "We also need jobs." He smiled and nodded like a well-behaved servant in front of his master. We are also now trapped in a dangerous debt cycle. The National Treasury has completely failed to manage our debt. This year alone, we will spend over 420 billion just to service the debt, not to repay the capital, just the interest. This is more than what we spend on basic education, more than health, more than policy, more than defense. It is more than what we spend on economic development. What is worse, the nature of this debt is changing. The National Treasury is now borrowing from IMF and the World Bank under the shady conditions. Most of this debt is not channeled through the state, but through state-owned enterprises, making it hard to track, hard to understand, and impossible for the public to scrutinize. The conditions attached to these loans go beyond interest rates. They include structural reforms, liberalization, demands, and policy intervention that have nothing to do with development and everything to do with foreign control of our economy. That is why the EFF is working with Parliament Bills Office to finalize the amendments to the Public Finance Management Act. We are going to pass a law that says any loan from IMF or World Bank must be tabled in Parliament and approved by elected representatives. The people must know the terms. The people must know the conditions. The people must decide. If we do not change this economy, if we do not reindustrialize, rebuild the state, protect the SOEs, develop rural economies, and create meaningful jobs, we are heading towards a crisis bigger than what we see now. South Africa cannot survive on extraction, imports, and elite consumption. We need an economy that works for the people, not just the privileged few. Fighters, in the past 12 years, the EFF has grown. Many people thought that the EFF will die. They saw it in Parliament. Many people thought the EFF will die. They saw it in provincial legislatures. They saw it in municipalities. They saw it in every street, in every ward, in every house, in every factory, in every school, in every university. The red flag is flying very high. It is not about to die. Comrades, we have used Parliament not as a space for careerism or elitism. We have used Parliament as a battleground. Many people today know Parliament because of the EFF. If it was not of the EFF, people will not know that there is a channel on TV that broadcasts Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. Many people today know Honorable Speaker and point of order because of the EFF. If it was not of the EFF, you will not have known all of those things. Comrades, today you are sitting here, you understand very well the scandal of Nkandla and the scandal of Busasa because of the EFF. The recent scandal exposed by the EFF was National Lottery Commission and the sitters. At the sitters, they wanted to hire a child of Kotemantashi, and it was Sitlelos who said, wait a bit, this one is a child of a politician, which means the whole sitters are rotten. Let's go through them one by one. As a result, those sitters were rejected and the minister was removed because of the EFF that led from the front. Today, people know the concept insourcing of workers because we insourced workers at the universities. We insourced workers at the hospitals. We insourced workers at municipalities. We have stood with the widows of mine workers in Marikana, with students in Fees Must Fall, when nobody wanted to associate with Fees Must Fall. We said, these are our children, their demands are genuine and they must be supported. When they were locked up in jail, we went to bail them out and send them back to the streets to continue a good fight of giving our children free decolonized education. Comrade, EFF is the only organization that has got gender-based violence desk, full-time assisting and supporting the victims of GBV. Only in the EFF you'll find caring people who are sympathizing with victims and the weak. Only the EFF has got gender-based violence because we care especially about women and children. That's why you see in the leadership responsibilities of the EFF, we are led by women because we believe that women can lead without any fear or favor. Comrades, we don't need the approval of the mainstream media. We don't need the approval of the elite. We need you, the masses of our people, to say to us, continue to lead us, continue to expose corruption, continue to fight for our dignity. Let us defeat inequality together. Let's restore the dignity of an African child. Let's liberate a mind of an African child. Let's produce the fearless young people who will confront white supremacy. It was only the EFF that was played in a video at an Oval Office where the old people were gossiping about us. No one else has ever experienced that history. Why? You are feared all over the world, not because you've got guns, not because you've got kanunus, not because you are armed. They are scared of you because you speak truth to power. They are scared of you because you are not ashamed of being black. You are always proud to be black. And you tell them without being ashamed that black is pitiful and black is confident. Comrades, we are not just a protest movement. We are government. We are a government in Ikuruleni. We are a government in Tshwane. We are a government in Nelson Mandela. We are a government in eThekwini. In the past 12 years, we achieved the dream that we said needed to be achieved when we formed this organization at Uncle Tom's Hall in July 2013. We said we are a government in waiting. We are no longer a government in waiting. We are a government. And where we govern better. And where we govern, black people are happy with the services of the EFF. Not only that, at tertiary level, there is no university in the SRC without an EFF member. All over South Africa, the EFF Student Command has shaken the status quo and taken over the universities and TVET colleges. We did not only fight for fees must fall. When they refused to remove the fees, the EFF Student Command says, "Sizofunda ngenkani," and we put a lot of children in the universities because of sizofunda ngenkani. And we want to tell them again, under the EFF Youth Command, sizofunda ngenkani times 2. There is no one who can stop our children from getting a better education. There is no one who's going to stop Wi-Fi to be installed in every institution of higher learning and the high schools. There is no one who's going to make sure that the conditions where our children stay are better than the conditions of the dogs of Cyril Ramaphosa. Our children cannot stay in worse conditions. We want NSFAS to pay directly into the accounts of the children and not into the accounts of the universities. They must stop lying and saying they cannot achieve that. It is achievable. Why are they able to pay the beneficiaries of SASSA directly into their bank accounts. Pay the students directly, teach them now, and teach them young how to use money. Whether you put it in their account and they eat and finish it today is none of your business. They will learn a lesson out of that. Comrades, financial education is very important. Our children will not only see money when they start working, they must see money and know how to use money when they are still children. Children of white people, they are given money at an early age. They open bank accounts for them. They teach them to know how to use money. Why are you not giving our children money directly, yet you claim to be the father of the orphans? We, the poor, rely on you, government, to survive. One of the demands we'll make is that the money should be paid directly into the accounts of our students. Universities must be allocated their money directly, not through NSFAS. NSFAS is a corruption of Platin Zimande and the Communist Party. They turned it into the personal purse. They must know their days are numbered. Fighters, we are General Ntantla Mkhwanazi, and General Ntantla Mkhwanazi is us. We support General Ntantla Mkhwanazi. We are not ashamed of General Ntantla Mkhwanazi. We are calling upon more Mkhwanazis in the police to come out and fight crime and syndicate that has captured the police, that has captured our country. We will not sit back and allow our country to be controlled by drug syndicate. We say to Mkhwanazi, do not be shaken, because if they fire you, there is a position for you in the EFF so that we can continue to fight corruption in South Africa. General Mkhwanazi should know that there is only one hope for the fearless, and that home is the EFF. Comrades, we have established an ad hoc committee in Parliament, and that ad hoc committee is going to investigate all the allegations leveled by Ntantla Mkhwanazi and every other relevant information that exists in society must come to Parliament. We want the people of Mitchell's Plain to come to Parliament and tell us who are the drug lords and who is protecting them, because we need to start fighting drugs. We want to know where the guns come from in the Cape Flats, in Khayelitsha. You, the people, know the truth. This is the time, this is the platform to expose the rot. Do not be scared. The killing of our children must be stopped now. Mkhwanazi opened the way. We must join in Mkhwanazi and restore peace and order in South Africa. Comrades, they think that Parliament is going to be a rubber stamp of the ANC. It will not happen. As long as the EFF is in that ad hoc committee, we are there, and we are going to make sure that this does not become another Section 89 report, which they brushed away, where they said the president has got a case to answer. That Pala issue is not dead. We are going to find a way of bringing it into this ad hoc committee, because even in that Pala, there was police corruption that happened and classified the report of Pala. Pala is still alive. Why? Because the EFF is still alive. For as long as the EFF is still alive, there is no politician who will hide behind SAPS or Parliament. Comrades, we are going to fight for that corruption of Lotto. Those people gave themselves a tender for Lotto, gave it to the politically connected. We are not going to sleep. We are going to make sure that we expose every rot in that dealing. We are going to expose the sitters. If they come back with wrong people, we want to warn the Minister of Education that if you come with the rot of the previous minister, we are going to show you the door, because we have no time for corrupt ministers. If Minister Manamela wants to be a successful minister, must not listen to that DG. We have a problem of a DG who was put by Blade in Zimandi, and that DG must be exposed for who he is. Fighters, we need to make sure that we continue to build a strong organization. Without you, there is no organization. When we come here and say this 12th anniversary is successful, it is because you came, not the leaders. If the leaders came alone, this was going to be a failure. EFF, it's you, and you are the EFF. Fighters, we need to unite our organization. Without a united EFF, there will never be a strong opposition in South Africa. For sure you saw yesterday or a day before what happened in Parliament. The so-called official opposition did not know whether they are going or coming, but the EFF rescued the situation and led from the front. We are with the people of Western Sahara. We are not with Morocco. We do not stand with Morocco. We stand with the people of Western Sahara. We say to Morocco, you must leave the land of the people of Western Sahara. Comrades, we want everlasting peace in Congo and DRC. We cannot sleep if there is no peace in DRC. We are with the children of Palestine. How can you be with Israel and USA, which is killing children and women? We are not with murderers. We are with the people of Palestine. We passed a motion in Parliament, and President must make sure that that motion on Israel is implemented. We told them that we cannot share a territory with a murderer, and we want the Israeli embassy closed for as long as they are committing genocide in Palestine. Let us stand together and support the people of Palestine, because we are the beneficiaries of international solidarity. We know our freedom today because the people of Palestine stood with us during difficult times of apartheid. It is our turn now to support them. We support the people of Cuba. We are Cuba. The EFF is inspired by July 26 movement that was formed by Commandant Fidel Castro. And because of that, we do not support the embargo against Cuba. We want South Africa to play a more significant role and supporting role to the revolution in Cuba. Fighters, you must go and look at the youth of Kenya. They are not scared of the establishment. They are fighting for their freedom. They are fighting for their determination. When they increased VAT, the youth in that country stood up and said, not in our name. When corruption continued to take place, they stood up and said, not in our name. Many of them were killed. Many of them continue to be killed. But the youth of Kenya does not retreat. It's leading from the front. I'm calling upon you, the youth of South Africa and Africa, to be inspired by the youth of Kenya and stand for what you believe in. We want to say to Captain Ibrahim Traore that we stand with him and support his vision for the Sahel region and the whole of African continent, including the expulsion of French colonialism. We say to our brother Duma Boko in Botswana that will heed his call for the unity behind the rallying cry for our land and minerals to return. We call upon him to also remove the American base in America. We have no land that can be shared with America, especially in Southern Africa. We've got a new government in Botswana, and that government is progressive. Let us remove the army base of America in Botswana. The face and future of Africa is economic freedom, and that economic freedom will be launched from the southern tip of Africa. Fighters, we are not only celebrating 12 years of EFF, we are from now onwards forming a campaign to win local government election in 2026. Khayelitsha is the home of the EFF. Gugulethu is the home of the EFF. Nyanga, Langa, Southern Cape, George, and everywhere else, including Central Karoo, is the home of the EFF. We need an outright victory in the Western Cape. We must fight racism through the ballot. We must win all the VDs in the Western Cape. Let me tell you, fighters, if you want to become a councillor, you must make sure that your branch is launched before the end of this year. All branches that are going to be launched next year, they will not qualify to contest for local government elections because there will be bogus branches. They are formed only for opportunism of people who want to become councillors. You want to be an EFF councillor? Let your branch be launched now. Let it be in good condition now and start working for our people now, even before the local government elections. Fighters, how can you be a leader of the EFF and sit on this stage comfortably while knowing that your branch is not led by the EFF, that your councillor is not a councillor of the EFF? I'm speaking to you. I come from a ward that is led by the EFF. I'm not saying you must lead the ward, whereas I don't lead my own ward. We went to by-elections and we whipped them again just a few days ago. I'm using that to inspire all of you to go and work very hard. Fighters, electricity is very expensive in South Africa. We must find a way to fight this expensive electricity. It is not affordable, and without a branch in good standing, our people will not have electricity. Our people will not have water. Our people will not have houses. Corruption in houses is because there is no strong opposition. A strong opposition makes a ruling party to deliver on its promises. When we say form a branch of the EFF, we don't mean for the sake of forming a branch. We mean form a strong opposition that will make sure there is no corruption in EPWP, where people are given jobs at night, where jobs are given to their relatives. Fighters, the Commission of Inquiry on Mkonazi's issues is a bluff, it's not real. What happened to Zondo Commission? Who was charged after Zondo Commission? It is very clownish for Ramaphosa to leave Mkhunu as a minister and say, I've put him on a special leave. What kind of special leave is that? Where do you get that in the Constitution, that a minister can be put on a special leave? Why is Ramaphosa playing with our money and having two ministers, Minister of Police Mkhunu on special leave and Minister Katalia? That is corruption, that is wasting money, that is not available. We call on the president to fire Mkhunu with immediate effect so that we don't have two ministers. Comrades, how can we pay 700 million for talking? People say there's going to be dialogue in South Africa. It will cost us 700 million. We don't want dialogue that costs us money. We have elected our leaders. They know what we want, and we speak for ourselves, and we don't need more money spent on parliament and spent on an unnecessary dialogue. Parliament is dialogue. Why must we pay for another dialogue? We are already paying parliamentarians for talking. Who said parliamentarians are dancing? We are not going to parliament to dance. We are going to parliament to dialogue. And money is put aside for that. We are being paid for dialoguing. Why do you want to pay more money? We reject the dialogue, and we reject President Mbeki's call to support the dialogue. We won't support anything that is going to cost us more money. Take the 700 million, pay for free education. Take 700 million, make sure higher education is of quality. Make sure our children benefit from proper feeding scheme. Buy them school uniform and give them uniform for free, because there is 700 million available to be used. Give 700 million to all the youth who are not working, yet they are looking for jobs, and you are not creating jobs. If anything, you have destroyed all the jobs in South Africa. All the factories that existed during apartheid in the townships are closed. Take that 700 million, go and reopen those factories, because we want jobs, and we want jobs now. Comrades, we must never surrender to extortionists. The extortionists must know that their days are numbered. No one must bully our people into paying protection fees. Protection fees for nonsense. We will never allow the criminals to run our street, to run the Western Cape. We will never allow the criminals to hijack our streets. We will make sure that South Africa remains a peaceful event. Those people of protection fees, when we were starting to build this dome, they came here and said we must give them something because we are building a dome in their territory. We told them that if your parents still love you, you will leave this place immediately, because you will never extort the EFF. If you want to meet your maker, try that nonsense here in the EFF. We will show you flames. So it must be the life here in Khayelitsha, that where extortionists demand any protection fees, the community must stand together and say, not in our community. We are in charge of this community. Fighters, you have built a strong weapon in the hands of the poor, of the poorest. Today, everywhere in South Africa, when injustice emerges, the people call the name of the EFF. Even those who don't love you, like journalists, when they are abused by their bosses at work, they say we are going to call EFF. You have given the power to the domestic workers. You have given the power to the farm workers Today, the rights of farm workers cannot easily be undermined because they know that the EFF will come. This organization you formed 12 years ago, if you don't know its impact, you must go and ask Donald Trump, do you know an animal called EFF? They all know it. You must ask Britain as well. They have denied us visas. They don't want us in their countries because they know the militancy of the EFF. So you must not think that you have not done something powerful. You have formed a powerful organization and it is worth celebrating. We have achieved more and more still need to be achieved. We must remain rooted. We must exist amongst our people. We must be humble and we must serve our people without expecting anything in return. We must serve the disabled people. We must serve old people. We must serve the youth of South Africa. Let the EFF exist in every corner of South Africa. Let the red flag fly high everywhere in South Africa. Let's have an EFF member in every house in South Africa. Only the EFF will bring equal freedom and total freedom into the hands of black majority. Amandla! Amandla! Viva EFF, viva! Tata EFF, tata! Tata EFF, tata! Ayule EFF, ayule! Amandla, amandla, awunoma kubi, siyaya, siyaya, noma kubi, siyaya, siyaya. Noma besethobola besishaya besibopha noma besethobola besishaya besibopha noma kubi siyaya, siyaya, noma kubi, siyaya, siyaya, noma besethobola, besishaya, besibopha noma besethobola besishaya besibopha noma kubi siyaya siyaya Ku siyaya, siyaya. Who left? Who right? Yamasa. Who left? Kita. Killer man. Kiribata bata. Kamarumo. Rumo. Asicha. Where were you when I'm sitting? Where were you when I'm dreaming? Sofa's kitchen. Emoye. Sofa's kitchen. Etati. Kichi. Kichima. Kichi. Kichima. Zibram konto. Alaye. Zibram konto. Alaye. Shoot to kill. Nyamaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. I repeat, kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa. Attention.